You have been out on a date with a girl and you've done your absolute best to give her the best time that you believe that you can. You've been sweet, you've been cordial, you've been the perfect gentleman, you've done all of the right things, but be that as it may, she still turns around and has the gall to say, I don't want to see you again. You're not happy, you're pissed off, maybe you're distraught. Where the hell did you go wrong? Well, watch this video because you're about to find out. Here are 5 ways that you ruined your date. Number 1 is the biggest culprit, so let's start with that. You were a pussy. But what does that mean? Well, something I learned once is this: when you're with a woman, there's, at any given moment, you have 2 choices. You can either do the scary thing, which could potentially get you rejected. However, if you pull this thing off, you are a god, you are a hero. Let's say, for instance, saying, hey, have you ever had a threesome? And then you and her have a threesome. Okay, so that is scary. Like, maybe she'll get angry, maybe she'll reject you, maybe she'll tell everyone about it. But if you pull it off, you are one of the sexiest men on earth. Or you can play it safe. And what does playing it safe do? Well, playing it safe means, well, obviously I'm not going to speak to some woman who I'm on a date with about threesomes because I might offend her. And I don't want to offend this woman because what kind of guy would I be if I offend her by speaking about threesomes? So you play it safe and you don't do any of the sort. If you are playing to not lose, you're not gonna win. You have to actually play to win. That's where the magic happens. That's where the fun happens. That's where the excitement happens. That's where the cool shit that's actually going to make like an emotional impact on it. That's where that resides. That resides in you actually playing to win rather than playing it safe. You have to play to win. You're on that date because there are certain things that you would like to do with her physical form, right? Like, either way, you either want to get to know her, like, for a relationship, or you just want something physical. But you gotta, like, play to win to get that to happen. Like, I'm here, I've got an objective for this date. If the objective happens, great. If it doesn't happen, that's also awesome. I'm not, like, attached to it. But you still got the objective. You are playing to win. You're in the moment. You're having fun. You're going for it. That's what you gotta do. But that's what you weren't doing because you were too afraid to go for it because you thought that if you went for it, you might get rejected and she might hate you. And as a result, you didn't go for it and you weren't rejected and she didn't hate you, but she also didn't want to be in bed with you either. Did she? Number 2 is that you were in her reality. What the hell does that mean? Well, I'm about to explain it to you. So, effectively, it's like this, right? Have you ever heard of a frame? Have you not? Well, I'm about to tell you right now. A frame is your view of reality, okay? And everybody has one. So when you were on that date, she's got her view of reality and you have yours. Maybe her view of reality is that she's an environmental peacekeeper. Maybe your view of reality is that you don't care about the environment at all. Irrespective of how morally right her frame might be, if you come out of your frame to come into hers, you're not really going to get any attraction that way. Your frame, your view of reality, your view of the situation needs to be stronger than hers, bigger than hers. She's on this date because she wants to become enveloped, ensnared, encapsulated, owned, possessed by your strong, potent masculine energy. That's what she wants. And you demonstrate that by having a stronger frame than hers. So that means that if she says something that you disagree with, you let her know that you disagree with it. You don't go along with it to keep her happy. No. In her frame, that is acceptable. In your frame, it isn't. Maybe you don't like the way she speaks to the waiter or the waitress. You let her know. Maybe she says things that you disagree with. Maybe she makes racist comments. It doesn't matter how freaking hot she is. If you don't like the fact that she made those racist comments, don't go along with the racist comments. Let her know that such talk is unacceptable. You know what? If she says something racist and you turn around and go, you know what? That is unacceptable. And if you want to continue to be associated with me in any way, shape or form, you need to drop that. If you're not prepared to do that, it will be sunk. If she disrespects you in any way, let's say like, maybe it's mild, right? Maybe it's mild. Maybe it's like a mild bit of disrespect, but she does it. She does that little bit of mild disrespect and you don't do anything in return and you just allow it to slide. You're living in her reality being that it is okay to treat you like a chump. Bye respect, bye sex appeal, dry underwear. You are sorting yourself out at home in front of Pornhub because she ain't touching your dick at all. Number 3 is that there was no sexuality. Well, what does that mean? So what is sexuality? Well, it's a vibe, right? It's a vibe. It's that amorous, flirtatious vibe that lets a woman know that you're a man, she's a woman, and potentially things can happen as a result of this union you guys are about to enter into. But was there any of that in your date? Were you too scared to let that out? Were you too afraid to let out the demon? Like, give her a little peek. You don't give her all of the demon, but you give her a little peek. Were you too afraid? Were you thinking, oh my God, she looks gorgeous, but you can't bring it up? Was there ever a look between the two of you that said, I'm a man, you're a woman? Was there ever any of that? Did you ever touch her? Even on the hand or on the fingers, was there any kind of contact between the two of you? Did you ever look her in the eyes and say, you know something? I need to be honest with you right now because the way you look is kind of enchanting. It's very distracting. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the curve of your body and how it fits into that outfit. I'm looking at that. I'm smelling your perfume. I'm looking into your eyes and I can see how your eyes are dilating. I can see your pupils just getting bigger as I look right into them. I can see that happening. I can see you starting to get nervous. I can see you fidgeting, but on the other hand, you actually quite like this, don't you? You like this and you enjoy it. And the thing is that I enjoy it too. I am thinking things right now. And I don't even need to say what I'm thinking because deep down you actually know. And I know that you know that if what I was thinking were to occur, we would both enjoy it very, very much. Have you ever said anything like that to her while stroking her fingers? Notice that I didn't say anything crass, did I? I didn't say anything crass, but there was a certain energy involved in that communication. Do you ever do anything like that? Was there anything there within your date to let her know that you're the man and she's a woman? No. And that is why you did not get a second date. Number 4 is that you were boring. Yeah, that's right, boring. B-O-R-I-N-G. But what does that mean? Well, it means that, what kind of conversations were you having? Did you speak about things that actually make you feel alive? Did you speak about your passions? Did you speak about things that are fun? Did you? Probably not. What did you talk about? Did you talk about the weather? Did you speak about the routes that you took to get to the date venue? Did you speak about that and how you managed to shave off 4 minutes off your time by taking a new back route that you didn't know existed? Did you speak about the fact that you're on the fast track for a promotion at work? Did you speak about that? Did you speak about the fact that on your street they've changed the collection days of the bin men? So the bin men used to come, garbage collectors for the Americans. They used to come on Tuesdays, but now they're actually coming on Wednesdays. Did you talk about that? Well, if that's what you spoke about, this is why you did not get a second date. You have to be bold, impactful, and memorable. You have to be. So the thing is this. Let's say you are really, really, really passionate about something. Like I've got a client who's passionate about fishing and he doesn't think a woman would want to speak to him about fishing and he feels like he can't engage with women about fishing. But you totally can if you do it in an interesting way. So for instance, if he was to say, all right, look, here's the thing about fishing is that you're there and you're on your own and it's just you and nature. And it's this serene and meditative experience because all of the pain or all of the stress from life, it just goes away. And you're just there and you've got your line and you've got your bait attached to the line. And you wait. And you know that at one moment, a fish is going to hook onto that line. And you just know. And through repetition and practice, you can tell by the currents of the water. You get a feeling for when fish are near. You can actually kind of sense it. And then at some point, you get that little bit of a tug. You get it and you feel it. And it feels so exhilarating. It does. And through skill and through training, you can get better fish and bigger fish and bigger fish. And now I'm able to catch 4 fish in 10 minutes when I could only do 5. I mean, look, I don't know a damn thing about fishing, right? But I'm pretty sure that was way more interesting a way to speak about fishing than anybody thought was possible. And I don't even fish. So how are you speaking to her about the stuff that you're speaking to her about? And what actually are you talking to her about? Were you interesting or were you boring? Were you fun or were you dull? Did you play safe or did you take risks? Were you yourself or did you just collapse into a little box? So here we go. What's the last one? You weren't self-amusing. You go, well, what does self-amusing mean? What does it mean to self-amuse? It means to amuse yourself, which is literally what I'm doing right now. So here's the thing. When you are on a date, let's say a woman's on a date, right? And let's say she's there with two men. No, two men are saying two different things. Or two dates with two different men on two different days, right? Man number one says that he doesn't give a damn about the environment, okay? Man number two says that he does care about the environment. Let's assume that the woman really cares about the environment. If man number one is just like, you know what, I actually don't care. Like, the environment means nothing to me. It is what it is. I don't give a crap. If he says that and he drops it with, like, it's coming from here, coming from his soul, it's actually who he be, she's going to be attracted to him. But you see, man number two is actually saying the thing that she wants to hear, which is that he does care about the environment. If that is coming from a place of, I am saying this to get with you because I want you to like me, she might like him as a person, but she ain't gonna respect him sexually. She ain't gonna get with him. She ain't gonna like want to be held down and like, you know, get that real good sweet loving with him. She ain't gonna want that at all. Have you ever had this happen? It's happened to me a lot when I was a teenager, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys, but have you ever had a woman speak to you about a guy who she claims to hate but continues to sleep with? And she has nothing good to say about this man at all. She's like, oh, he's an absolute pig, and he's this and he's that, and he's rude and he's disrespectful, and I can't believe he does this. And she has nothing good to say about this man at all. However, she continues to sleep with him again and again and again and again and again, even though, according to her, he has no redeeming qualities. And based on the way she speaks about him, you would think no woman ever would have any interest in him whatsoever. But she's interested in him, and you know why? Because irrespective of the fact that she actually doesn't like the things that he does and says, like, she's not lying, she's still attracted to him because he's a man. And because he was a man and you probably weren't, which is why she wasn't sleeping with you, she was sleeping with him. That is what happens when you self-amuse. So when you tell a joke, tell the joke because you genuinely find a joke funny. Amuse yourself. Be on the date, being you, and just reveling in the experience of being the person that you are. You do that, you're gonna suck her in. Even if she don't really like the things that you're saying, she will respect the energy with which it is said. We are at the end of this video, so merci beaucoup for watching. You are appreciated. You could be doing anything with your time, but you are here with me, and I do appreciate it. You should subscribe to our channel. That is number one. And number two, we got school as well. We actually have a school on school. So you could go to school and you can learn everything that you need to know in order to not screw up on dates. There's a really cool module called sexual communication. That is my module, which is all about how to communicate with a woman in a way that is erotic, horny, amorous, and effectively facilitates a transition from platonic interaction to wild screaming orgasms. In fact, you could go onto school and you can listen to an audio of me speaking a woman. Literally, this is no joke. Listen to an audio of me talking a woman to a wild and screaming orgasm, and you can actually hear afterwards me explaining exactly what I did so that you can do it too. With that, I have to say toodaloo, goodbye, au revoir, arrivederci, and thank you for your time. Ciao.